Hello everybody, how are you? Happy New Year! I am Tiffany Gill. I am the founder and creator of Black Girls Unscripted. We are a community of 10,000 plus women and girls all across the country committed to celebrating and harnessing the power of our stories. Joining me tonight is my special guest, Miss Christen Johnson. She is the founder of Sophisticated Chic, a personal branding and styling company. And Kristen's gonna be sharing some tips. She's gonna be talking about her background, and she's gonna be getting us straight for the new year on exactly how our wardrobe should look. So thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, Happy New Year to you.
Same to you.
And happy belated birthday, my fellow Capricorn.
Right.
Did you do anything special?
I went to Philly
Nice.
with my boyfriend, so it was a good weekend. The weather was nice, so we had fun.
So you're from Baltimore. Tell me a little bit about whether or not there was something that happened in your childhood that let you know fashion, styling, all those things was the direction that you were going to end up going in.
Yeah, so I don't think anything in particular happened. It's just always been a thing of mine ever since my mother allowed me to just start dressing myself for school. Of course, she used to pick out my clothes, but I think it was the third grade. She gave me the opportunity to start picking out my own clothes. So ever since then, I've just always been into it. I think it's honestly in my blood because my dad, he grew up loving fashion. He worked at a bunch of different retail stores. He always won best dress. So I think I got it from him. But that's just something that has always been my thing. And I didn't really know what I wanted to do in fashion until I got to college. I realized that, you know, I dress myself well. Maybe I can dress other people well too. So I started doing that, and it's been, So in 2013, I was in school and I just started to blog. I started to talk about the different events that I went to, the different shopping trips that I went on, everything that I purchased. And that kind of led to me moving into the styling field. I just started building my portfolio, reaching out. I knew a lot of models. I don't know why, but I knew a lot of models, knew some photographers, and I started building teams of people and just building my portfolio like that from the ground up. I didn't have a lot of money, so I wasn't paying anybody. It was considered trade for print. So I do work for you, and everybody, you know, can post the photos and things like that. So that's how I started doing that. And back then I was styling a lot of creatives and doing a lot of creative shoots. I no longer do that. I work for, or I style a lot of professionals now. And that started when I was working at Trunk Club, which is a styling service for men at the time, but now both men and women. I started working there post-college, and it was considered a startup. And I thought that was going to be like the end all be all, but I had only lasted there for about 8 months. It was super salesy. It was in DC too. And me being from Baltimore, I didn't really have a network, and being fresh out of college, I didn't really know anybody. So it was a struggle. But I loved that job so much because it led to me, you know, really building my own business up and turning it into what it is now. I learned a lot. So, yes.
And what did you get your degree in? Did your degree sort of align with what you ultimately ended up doing?
Yeah, ironically. I went to school for business management and entrepreneurship. I knew I wanted to own my own business, but I didn't know what type of business until now or a couple of years ago. So that it worked out perfectly, even though I don't really remember any of the stuff that I learned in school. Half the stuff in entrepreneurship and owning a business, you don't really learn until you're out there. And they don't teach you that in school. It's a bunch of like vocabulary and, you know, terms and things like that. And you don't really know what it means until you actually have to do it for yourself.
That's right. The experience is the best teacher. What would you say is your specialization?
Yeah, so body shapes. I focus on women's body shapes, and I help them to determine that. And that's been a fun experience because just before I even started using my own terms, I was using the original body shapes that every woman knows: bananas, apples, all that stuff. And just the facial expressions that women would give me when I would talk about it, I'm like, well, this is what y'all know. Like, what do you want me to do? Like, that's all that's out there. But then I realized, like, okay, maybe I should do something different. So I switched up my body shapes to just be a little bit more enticing, positive, and just, you know, better on the ear, I guess, and the eye.
You mean the descriptors. So it's no more pear shape or you kind of apple shape. You have your own terminology.
I have my own. And they still kind of look the same, but I mean, you can kind of relate to the original body shapes to mine. So it just sounds a lot better and a lot more positive, because I want anybody, any woman, to feel good no matter what their shape is. So that's why I did that.
And how important, in terms of not necessarily you as a personal stylist, but that for an individual, how important is it to understand your body type in determining, one, your style, but then two, the clothes that fit you best?
I think it's very important. One, because you need to know what size you are. A lot of women don't know what size they are. They don't know their measurements. They don't know they don't know anything. They only go off of what I guess maybe they'll get their measurements taken once, and then after that they're like, oh, okay. I'll just keep trying different things on, or I don't know. It's just very weird. And it's also a touchy subject to talk about your body, your weight. And it really makes some women feel bad about themselves because they're a certain weight or they don't look a certain way. But with what I do, I want all women to feel confident in who they are. And to me, confidence comes with clarity. When you know your shape, you know your measurements, you know what looks good on you, you feel a lot better about yourself. It's so simple, but it's a challenge for a lot of women.
I can tell you from a personal point of view, as you get older and your size changes, it just becomes a matter of getting that thing that feels good and fits right and looks okay.
Yeah.
Right? So I don't know that we are as determined to know our measurements. So this will be cool. We'll get some of mine. I mean, I think I know my size, but I'm not sure, because you just don't know. It's not something that's a huge priority. And you mentioned about the stigma. And I'm so happy to see the level of the different various types of body positivity out there. Women are claiming their bodies no matter what size they are. Girls now have more full-figured, full-size women to look up to as role models. When you were growing up, can you think of someone, and I'm thinking in the fashion world, someone that was your role model, someone that you really enjoyed?
I would say Tyra Banks, I guess. I feel like that's super cliche. But I used to model back in the day. So I always watched like America's Next Top Model and shows like that. So that's who I always looked up to. But as far as fashion goes, I don't know. I never really had any like fashion icon that I looked up to. I just love looking at everyday people. I like watching people on Instagram, walking down the street and kind of seeing what they put on or seeing what they wear. And I like to put my own flair on it. So yeah, I love everyday, normal people.
I'm with you. I think ordinary, everyday folks give you the most inspiration. It's authentic, right?
Yeah.
It's not put on. It's not extra. It's just, this is me.
And it's practical. And that's one of the reasons why I moved in the direction of dressing professional women, because when I first started styling creatives, I felt as though I was boring, or my taste was just not as like dramatic. So I would compare myself to other stylists who were doing more editorial and dramatic things, and I would think that I was a bad stylist. Then I realized maybe I'm just not that type. Maybe I just need to move to a more everyday lifestyle, regular stylist. So that's why I moved in that direction. Yes.
That's your niche. Listen, we're going to get into some more details. I want you to help us figure out how, some of the things we should have in our closets. We're going to talk a little bit more about measurements and all that good stuff. And we'll talk more about your business. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
All right. So now for the fun part. Christen is going to talk to us a little bit about what she brought with us, every staple a woman should have in her closet, and some more good stuff. What you got going on here?
Yeah, so I don't have every staple, but just a few. I definitely wanted to mix in blacks, of course, because that's the color that everyone loves, and it goes with everything. But then also just some colors and patterns. I want women to know that you don't have to have all black or all white or all gray just to have a capsule wardrobe. You can literally have pieces that can be mixed and matched with each other, which I love versatility. So I have a few tops here, and these are just simple plain pieces that they may look ugly on the hanger, but they look better once you put them on. And they can be worn by anyone, any woman. You can wear this to work. You can wear this out to church, dinner, whatever. But the cool thing about it is that it can be worn in a variety of ways. So
and you can pair that with a pair of booties or some high...
booties, sneakers, whatever your style is. Yeah. Booties, sneakers, a heel, flats, anything.
Okay.
You can switch out your top. The same skirt, different top. That. You can wear this with a jacket. So it's just great to have pieces that you can mix and match and wear. You do not need to have a lot of pieces in your closet to have a great capsule wardrobe.
Love this. Every woman should have a blazer. Right?
Exactly. Yeah. So I know we talked a little bit about the essentials checklist. So some of the wardrobe essentials, I provide that actually in my consultation, but we can talk about a few of those pieces today. Of course, it's the blazer, a pair of leather pants, jeans, a blouse, whether it be a silk white, silk black, they go with literally everything. A jumpsuit is always great to have depending on your shape. A black jumpsuit is great and classic. None of these pieces will ever go out of style.
That's another thing that I want to talk about. I love. Because, you know, fashion trends change so quickly. One thing's popular, next season it's not. That's a lot of money you spend just trying to stay up to date and cool and fashionable. So what you're saying is these items and some others that you'll talk more about, especially in your consultation, and we'll talk more about what services you offer. Yeah. These items you can mix and match and be good to go.
Yeah, but it's also all about your everyday lifestyle. Your capsule wardrobe has to be practical and it has to make sense for you. Not everybody's capsule wardrobe will be the same, but the wardrobe staples, they never change. The blazers, the pencil skirt, the little black dress, those are the pieces that every woman should own. But when it comes to your personality being mixed into what you wear, that's when you start choosing the prints and the colors and the patterns and things like that to make it your own. But I'm not a trendy person. I learned that at a young age. In middle school, everybody would run to the store and grab those boots that everybody had or those shoes that everybody had, and I would go out and get them, and then like a month later they would be in the back of my closet with dust on them. A waste of my parents' money. At the time I didn't care, but as I got older I'm like, I can't keep doing this. So I like to invest in the basics, and then of course spending, you know, however much I feel like or however little I feel like on pieces that have some prints or have some patterns that I probably can't wear as much or as often.
Right. And how much does, you talk about personal style and personal preference, but how much does confidence factor in your style choices?
Yeah, so first, determining your shape and knowing your measurements is the first step to doing all of that, because you can't just grab a piece and assume that it'll look good on you. Some people, they are that shape where almost everything looks great on them, but it all goes back to your size and what looks good on your shape. Because some people like to cover up their bottoms. Some people like to cover up their tops. So it just all depends. But it's definitely important. It brings a lot of confidence once you figure out what those pieces are.
It seems to me that if you're confident, you have an idea of your personal style, your taste, what looks good on you, you can shop at Nordstrom's and Goodwill. And
you know where to go. Yeah.
We're going to talk about measurements. Let's take mine.
Okay. You ready?
I'm going to take mine.
Okay.
And see what we come up with.
All right.
All right. So Christen is here with me. She's about to take my measurements, y'all. Let's hope for the best. Let's hope for the absolute best. And you'll talk us through the process because, you know, you'll be surprised that there are lots of folks who really don't know how to take their measurements.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's pretty simple.
Let's get started.
All right. So first I start by taking the measurements around the bust. Now, I always like to tell my clients to never wear a bra when you're taking your measurements. Okay. Always wear either a tank top or like some athletic wear that's form-fitting so you can get the exact measurement.
Got it.
So I don't know if you're wearing like a padded bra or anything, but it may be a little off or a little bit different than what it would normally be.
Oh, okay.
So what is your bra size now without me guessing or...
Well, I don't know if I want everybody to know about my personal stuff. No, I am a 38C.
Okay, you're a good size. That's like the perfect size. Okay, so I have 42.
Really?
So,
Where do I get those extras?
When's the last time you got your bra measured, your measurements?
My bra. Okay, it's been last time I got bra measurements. I was in a wedding about 5 years ago.
So women tend to not get their bra measurements as often as they should.
And then do we factor in times of the month? I mean, are there other factors that may
definitely
be a play?
So what you're wearing may be a factor. Of course, over time things change, and then if you're on your cycle or anything like that, that may be different. But that's why I always suggest taking your bra measurements at least once a month, or once every other month, possibly.
Once a month.
Because when women get older or a certain age, their bodies tend to fluctuate. So I do understand that may be a factor into it. So. But it's always good to just know. I know women think, okay, this bra fits, I'm good. Like,
it's comfortable.
It might fit today, but it probably technically doesn't fit you the way that it should. Okay. So just think of things like that.
Got it.
So yeah, I do that. So I did 42. I like to take these down for bust. And like I said, it's always good to take them when you're home in your slim fit leggings and tank top and all of that. So the next part is, start from this side. The next part is your waist, and you always do your high waist. So where you will wear your high waist jeans, which is a little bit above your belly button.
Belly button, yep.
So you want to do that to get the best accurate measurement. And what is your pant size now?
I am, well, it depends. It actually depends on the brand and where I get them from. I'm anywhere between a 10 and a 12.
Okay. So that's pretty accurate. I got 35 for your waist. So you're probably like a 34 or maybe a 30, because 12 I think averages out to a 30 number.
Okay.
So that is good. And then we do your hips. So when you do your hips, you want to go across your butt area and around.
Across the butt area. So
in the middle.
In the middle. Okay. Got it.
In the middle of your butt.
Okay.
Across your stomach. And this sometimes can be a little difficult. So if you do take your measurements, try to have someone there to assist you.
I was going to say, it's got to be difficult doing this, particularly this part.
Yeah. So you said you're about in a 12
yes.
or 10? Okay. So I got, 46 and a half. And it's always good too to make sure that you don't pull it too tight, because you want to have some room when you're taking your measurements.
Okay. Well, that was painless.
Yeah. So it looks like you carry some of your weight at the bottom in your hips, and then you're 42 at the top. The smallest part of your body, of course, is your waist. So that's a good thing. Okay. So just by looking at the numbers, I would say that you're close at the top than you are at the bottom. So I would say that you're probably a double diamond. I'm trying to think of how my terms relate.
A double diamond.
Double diamond. So that would be considered an hourglass shape. But women tend to be both. They tend to be two different shapes at a time. So you can be a mix between a double diamond and something else.
And those two different shapes mean top and bottom, or what do
you have characteristics from one shape compared to the other shape. So a lot of the body shapes kind of coincide with each other. So you can have characteristics of one and characteristics of another. And it just all depends on how your weight fluctuates, how you're built, how tall you are, how short you are.
You know what? Another issue that I face is that I have a long torso. So, certain clothes don't look right. I have to be careful about how blazers and things hit me. What about those things? Torso, shorter legs? I mean, are those things?
Yeah. They definitely factor in what your body shape is, and that's where it becomes a mix of two.
Got it.
Sometimes.
Got it.
So you could be a double diamond, but you also carry some of your weight down here, so you could also be a pear shape.
Okay.
So I mean, it all depends. You just definitely have to make sure that you know your measurements, and you got to figure out where most of your weight fluctuates. So if you have a bigger bottom, then you want to add to the top to kind of balance it out. And that's
meaning
really
what?
the goal.
Add to the top.
Add to the top, meaning adding on pieces, adding on clothes. So a bigger shirt or a jacket, just to balance out your bottom with your top. And that's the ultimate goal of every woman, every body shape, the balance of everything.
And I know that's true. One of the things too, though, with me is I also have broad shoulders. Okay. So I feel when I put on too much, I feel that it continues to broaden me more. How do you build on the top, but how do you not over accent the broadness in your shoulders?
Yeah, so you can go with thinner layers or thinner fabrics or lighter colors as well to kind of make it look not as big.
Got it.
So you can use colors to repel the eye, you can use layering to repel the eye, but the goal is to really make your body proportionate. And the ultimate body shape, of course, is the hourglass. So you want to make sure that you're proportionate at the top, smaller in the bottom, and then proportionate at the bottom.
Got it.
If
Great
that makes
tips.
sense.
It does.
Okay.
It makes sense. So let's talk more about, you know, what your services are, what services you offer women. Because, you know, I know that there's some overlapping, but so you've got personal shoppers, you've got personal stylists, you've got image consultants. I know, you know, some of those, there's some crossover there, but what distinguishes what you do from those other two services?
Yeah, so I'm strictly a personal stylist. I don't really listen to, like, if someone asks me to, oh, can you purchase this or can you find this item? I won't do that.
No personal
That's
shopping.
just something I never was a fan of doing.
Okay.
I really like building a relationship with the client, really understanding who they are, what they do every day, what they like, what they don't like, and going off of their body shape and their preferences and pulling pieces that way. So I give you a different perspective on fashion pertaining to your unique style and your unique self. And that's what I would consider a personal stylist. Someone who really creates a personal style for you, going off of what you like and what you don't like.
And what's a typical, you know, I'm your client, what would one of our, you know, typical sessions look like in terms of your consultancy?
Yeah, so it always starts with a discovery call. If it's our first time connecting, it's free, 15 minutes, really just understanding who you are and really giving me a chance to tell you how we work. From there, we do a consultation. It's a video call, 90 minutes, or is it 60 minutes? One of the two, sorry. It's a 60-minute call, and I do an interview, and I really understand and try to get to understand your struggles, what you do every day, what you hate, what you don't hate, what you're going through, if you have children, if you're married, those types of things.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't think about that when they're styling people, but I think it's important to me because I can't just style you and not know anything about you.
Yeah.
So that's important.
And all those things factor in budget too, right? Because you've got some moms who have wardrobes that are sort of old and they've got to make them work. What's your, I mean, this may be a tough question, but what's your ideal client?
So a professional woman who either runs her own business or works for another company who just doesn't have the time to get dressed every day, doesn't have the time to think about what she's wearing, doesn't really know what direction she wants to go in, but she knows that something needs to change. Yeah. She knows that she needs help. Yeah. So definitely, of course, she has time to talk to me, but she doesn't have time to go shopping and all that stuff that goes along with fashion. So that would be my ideal.
I want to address another, what might be considered a misperception, and that is personal stylists are too expensive. It's not even something I would consider. Let's talk a little bit about that and why you need one.
Yeah, so it's definitely important, I feel like, for everyone to have someone to talk to about their appearance, because you need to see how other people see you, because the way you look at yourself is completely different from what other people see you as, one. Two, styling to me is self-care. So if you care about yourself, it's just like getting your nails done and your hair done. You know, you have someone to shop for you, or you have someone to give you points and tips on where to shop or what pieces would look best on you. I think that's all a part of just investing in yourself and really just caring about yourself, especially if you're in business, because you're always in front of people. You're always talking to people. So you need to look your best. If someone sees you walking down the street with sweatpants and slippers on, I mean, you're comfortable, but they probably wouldn't hire you or promote you to being an executive somewhere. So,
and it's also important if you are, you know, transitioning from one role to the next, not necessarily a business owner, but you're now in a different realm in your workplace and you need to show up differently. So everybody can benefit from a personal stylist in some way.
Everyone. And prices vary. You know, everybody's different. But if you're willing to buy designer pieces, you should be willing to invest in someone who can show you how to eventually save money. And that's really what I'm trying to do. Just really showing women how to save, and not necessarily saving meaning that you're not spending a lot, but saving meaning you're purchasing the proper pieces that will last you over time. And eventually you're saving money.
And do you come out and do closet edits? I mean, is that all part of your service as well?
So the consultation is the first step.
Okay.
That's when, like I said, we're getting to know each other. That's all virtual. Help them to determine their body shape, take their measurements, all that good stuff. And then I offer 3 different packages. So they can either be virtual or in person. But the refresh package is something that I just created. It is basically a closet revamp or a closet refresh. I come in or virtually look at their closet, tell them to remove certain pieces that don't fit their shape or fit their personality. And from there, we do an in-home shopping session. So I go shopping for them. They trust me to go shopping for them, bring the clothes to their home, and they can shop in the comfort of their own home. Yep. And then outfit planning goes along with that too. So actually putting the outfits together, because you can have all great pieces, but how do you really know what to pair?
And I love the way you paired, just those couple of pieces. It's great.
And it's so simple once you actually have someone do it for you. It's like, oh, okay, I would have never thought of that. So
and decluttering, like getting stuff out of your closet. I imagine
rid of those things that you aren't wearing, the items with tags on them, the unintentionally distressed pieces. So that's all one package. And then of course we have the virtual styling package, which of course is me styling you virtually. You shop on your own, but of course I'm picking out the pieces for you to shop. And then the professional branding photo shoot package, that goes along with those business owners or those individuals who just got promoted and they need a professional headshot or just photos for their website that just make them look professional and stylish, of course.
Wonderful. How can folks find you? Where are you?
So I'm everywhere. SophisticatedChicBrand.com. At Sophisticated Chic Brand on Instagram, LinkedIn, Christen Johnson, that's CHRISTEN. And my email is info@SophisticatedChicBrand.com. So you can go to my website, you can find me there. There's lots to see. You can see people that I've styled previously, testimonials, and all of our new packages are there. So hopefully I'll hear from you guys.
Y'all got it. And Christen has something special for those of you who are viewing. A 15% off code will be down below. She has a wonderful body Bible. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, the Body Shape Bible is an interactive ebook that basically shows you how to do exactly what I did for Tiffany. I'm going to show you how to take your measurements, show you how to determine your shape using the shapes that I recreated, and then giving you a list of some of those pieces that look best on your shape. So it's super simple, super easy. You can do it at home. But yeah, I love that book. I think it's a lifesaver.
The Body Shape Bible. I love it. 15% off, y'all.
Yes.
Well, Christen, thank you so much for
you.
joining us. And I have to mention this because I think it's important to say, about 6 months ago or so, I came up with the idea of Girls Night In. And I was sort of scouring the website, internet, all over the place to find phenomenal women to interview. I found you on LinkedIn and made a mental note. And then 6 or 7 months later, Christen sent me an email through LinkedIn and introduced herself. So I say all that to say the universe has a wonderful way of bringing people together. Don't ever doubt the power of connections and social media and all those other places, because were it not for the timing of your email, we might have never connected. So thank you for reaching out. You were on my must contact list anyway. But no, thank you for joining us. This is great. This is great.
So much. I hope y'all learned something.
Me too. So thank you guys once again for joining us. We hope that you will enjoy Christen's presentation. Be sure that you reach out to her if you have any questions. You can find her all over the internet, all over social media. Don't forget to take advantage of the discount code for the Body Shape Bible. Yes. Simple, easy. We love easy. Get some solutions. And Christen, thank you once again for joining us. We'll see you guys again soon.